Welcome, everyone. It is January 22nd, 2023. This is the Morgellons Call of the Week, and we're entering our Q&A session, and the topic today has been resolutions. And I just want to add that you only lose if you quit. If you don't, how many times did Edison fail to discover the light bulb? I think he said that he had discovered something like, 10,000 ways that it didn't work.
Right.
But he didn't quit. And I don't know if that's the right number, but it was a huge number. So, if you don't quit, you're going to succeed. And the other thing is that if you don't have a roadmap, you're not going to get where you want to go. And that's where goals come in, not necessarily resolutions, but you have to have a vision for your future and then make a plan and write it down. So I encourage everyone, especially in terms of getting well, getting clear, getting their house clean, have a plan. It will make a difference.
That's very good, Robin. Thank you. That's Edison invented that light bulb a hell of a long time ago. And how long has it taken modern science to invent the LED light? Gee.
Right.
Or even the fluorescent light, took a heck of a long time before anybody came up with anything else.
Yep.
Okay, so let's open the lines. Who has a question?
You had mentioned in the past, recently, about using the ammonia, spraying that into the HVAC. I haven't done that as of yet because I am so sensitive, like a canary here. I'm just wondering if I could use the electrostatic sprayer with the clean enzymes that you provide, which is a wonderful product, to put that in the HVAC, and if so, how would that be diluted? That's my first question, if you could please. And
have you been using the enzymes in the electrostatic sprayer?
Yes, it's great. It's a great product. My husband's been doing it. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and do it go ahead and do it. Don't stand in your way. Go ahead and do it. Put it in your HVAC.
Yeah, how much would you?
Same thing, same mixture.
Which is, I can't remember, a quarter, 2 ounces?
I don't know. It's on the bottle. Whatever you've been mixing for your general environment, same thing.
Oh, same thing. Okay, great. And I'm just wondering, when Lila had mentioned that product, you don't carry that in the store, but I'm wondering if you're planning on it. Is it POC something?
PCO?
Yeah, POC choice. Yeah. Are you going to be carrying that, or?
Cedarside. That's a Cedarside product from Cedarside.
Oh, good. Okay. Can that be also sprayed into an HVAC?
No.
Well, you probably, you could use a regular sprayer, but you never would want to put it in an electrostatic sprayer.
Because it's
okay. So the enzymes I could put in the electrostatic sprayer for the HVAC. Yeah, well, we'll try that. Yeah, we'll try that. And thank you so much. The other quick question is about hydrogen peroxide. Years ago, I had gone to a lecture many decades ago. There was a Catholic priest who apparently had healed himself of cancer ingesting the hydrogen peroxide, before food grade was available, with all the additives that that are in the peroxide, and apparently he was able to get healed, or from what he said anyway, hopefully. I'm wondering, is there anyone that you know of that's been really helped by taking...
there is a protocol in the book on how many drops to put in a glass of water and consume, and you build a protocol up. I don't have any data on the number of people that have helped, but one of the people who did get their lives back shared that with me, so I just passed it on.
You don't know yet, because I know you all have the 12% in the store, and then I read in a book that the 35% can be very, dangerous, but people are using like 5 drops and of the 35%, which can be...
Well, we used to handle the 35%, and it is very dangerous. I wouldn't, I just don't feel comfortable you got to wear gloves, you got to wear respirators. It's very dangerous. So we have 8%. It doesn't matter whether it's 8% or whether it's 35%. You just use more drops of the 8% than you would of the 35%, and be happy that you're going to be safer.
Do you think the 3% would work? I mean,
Well, I don't know if they make food grade. Do they make food grade 3%?
Yeah, they do. I got it from the store.
As long as it's food grade, you just adjust the percentages. If you went to, in high school, you learned X over Z and, your fractions. You know how to figure it out. You just do a mathematical formula and figure out how many. If you need so many drops of 8%, how many drops of 3% are you going to need? So you figure that out. Calculate it.
Okay, great. Yeah, because they say on empty stomach. Thank you so much, for supporting me and everyone else.
Right, sure. In fact, if you're using 8% and if you're using 6 drops, if you go to 3%, you're going to do 2.2, about 2.25 times as many at 3%. So it's an easy calculation.
First question comes from a lady on the line with us today, who is called Ursula, and she wanted information on how to get floaters out of your eyes.
Floaters out of your eyes. Well, I can share that. I had them as big as Mack trucks. In fact, I had trouble seeing anything but the floaters. And number one, it takes time. Don't expect overnight miracles. I personally did nothing specific for my eyes. I've had them in my eyes, and generally they kind of, just washed out or got rid of them, and was fortunate. And in time, the floaters went away. Now, other people's eyes are more impacted than mine were. And so in the store, in the book, chapter 6, there are about 6 different ways to get them out of your eyes. Lila shared a couple of weeks ago that she found a colloidal silver MSM combination that she used as drops. But there's you can just use, many people just use colloidal silver. I think a question came in that Mary maybe have there later on, how to clean your eyes with the NG. So you can get a saline solution, you can get an eye cup, you can put 1 drop of the concentrated debriding soap into that eye cup with a saline solution, and then wash your eye with it. So there are many ways of clearing your eyes that have been, we have a plethora of techniques.
I had an eye issue, and I went to my ophthalmologist, and I've been having quite success with, I use an erythromycin ophthalmic ointment at night, and it works great. And the ophthalmologist said that the amount of erythromycin, that it's a very small amount, and that it was okay to use daily. And that's been a real lifesaver for my eyes.
Great.
And that's in the book also. Actually, that's in Richard's book about eye. But and I did that for a long time. But my eye doctor suggested that it shouldn't be a long-term solution.
Okay. Thank you for yes.
Yeah.
I've just been, and I just want to reiterate how important the diet is, and I'm always experimenting and trying to come up with recipes. And is it okay to, it's on the diet it says no gravy, but is it okay to make your own gravy from like bone broth and maybe rice flour?
Yeah.
Sure, you can make your own gravy, of course, with water and if you're making chicken or the leftover in the pan, you can add some, rice flour. But I like spelt or millet or any. If you might be dealing with candida, you want to stay away from rice flour and maybe use some millet or something like that. And if you really got a bad situation with candida, you want to stay away from all flours and just use water then and make a gravy with water.
Okay, thank you. Oh,
You're
and I
welcome.
wanted to
You don't want to
say
buy, you don't want store-bought bouillon. It has all kinds of stuff in it that's not on the diet, and you don't want store-bought canned or, jarred gravy, because there's things in there that are not on the diet. That's why.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very adamant about checking the ingredients and everything now.
I make great gravy with drippings from chicken or beef, and then garlic and sea salt and spelt flour to thicken it, and it's really good.
I'll get this. I'll try the spelt flour then. Thank you so much.
Sure. So, how long have you been with the diet? Have you made it work?
Yes, I've made it work, and then I try things, and then I get reactivated, and I'm learning what I can and cannot eat. And yes, the diet is very, very important. And I was a avid sugar addict, and I was a Diet Coke. I couldn't give up my Diet Coke, but I'm completely off of sugar, and I'm off my Diet Coke now too. The tea is wonderful. I didn't think I would like the tea. I'm really picky, but I just love the tea, and I ran out, and I had to order some. It's like, and I don't ever want to run out of tea again.
Which tea is that? Which tea?
The
cistus tea. Yeah.
Yes, I love it. I didn't think, when you first mentioned tea, I thought, oh, I'm probably not going to like that, but I tried it, and I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome. And how long have you been in the program?
Oh, I'm sorry, brain fog. I think I started in maybe June. In July, I started ordering your products, and I love everything that I've tried.
Now, how long did it take you until you realized that the diet was going to be a significant factor for you?
I think it took about maybe 2 weeks.
Oh, that quick? That's great.
Yes. I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you for it.
You're welcome.
My goal is to come up with recipes and be really creative with what is allowed on the stage 1 diet. So I'm brainstorming on that and trying to come up with good recipes. So
right.
And I enjoy the recipes in your book too.
Sure, and if you don't mind, you can always share recipes with me, and I'll be glad to publish them for everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Today I made red and green cabbage, celery, garlic, and onions, and stir fry. And then I had basmati rice and a little bit of leftover pork. It was really good.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Cooked in rice bran oil. So that's all.
Oh, I love.
Great.
Yes, I've been trying a lot of different stir fries. That sounds really delicious. I'll try that.
Okay, thank you so much. Keep coming back. We're here to support you, and I'm so happy that you're making the diet work and getting your life back. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, who's next, Chris?
I really enjoy the articles you send out. They are so informative, and I thank you for those. And I was going to send this through to you, but since I'm here, I might as well mention it. You had one article about the thousands of uses for Nature's Gift soap, and I wanted to add one on there. Silly as it sounds, it is a fantastic stain remover.
Oh, great.
Robin was talking about goals, and I wanted to speak up then. One of the things I want to do is simplify my life this year. And I keep the Nature's Gift. The 3-ounce bottles are wonderful. Please keep those in stock. And I put about 15 drops in there. I think that's the directions. And then mix it with distilled water. And I have that out on my counter all the time. So when I got a stain on my clothes, it was just easy enough to grab it, because I think that's the key to getting stains out of your clothes is act fast. So it works excellent. I've used it at work. I've used it at home. And I also, since people are talking about eye problems, I also use it in my eyes because it is so diluted. I mix 2 squirts of saline solution with 1 spray of Nature's Gift, and I put that in an eye cup and put that to my eye, and it has given me so much relief. It's diluted enough to where it doesn't harm it at all, and I do feel instant relief. I mean, better than eye drops.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And how long have you been in the How long have you been in the program?
A long time. At least 3 years. And kind of like what people say, sometimes I feel cured, and then I go and do something crazy to get off of the diet. Oh, another thing I wanted to add is millet. For people that cannot eat rice, millet is a godsend. It cooks just like rice. It tastes, it's kind of bland, so you can mix it with anything. And it is really, it really helps for a staple food.
Oh, it does. It is great. Yes, I often forget about millet. I think of millet flour, but I often forget about making it up like oatmeal, just cooking it. It's delicious. It is. Thank you.
I put it in casseroles, like skillet casseroles. Like when, Robin was talking about stir fry, I'll throw some millet in there, and it'll thicken everything up. And it's like pouring it over rice or anything like that. It mixes just like rice.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Right.
Okay.
And some people, like, I could never eat millet. I was super sensitive to it. So everyone's a little bit.
Well, there's 12 different kinds of millet. This friend of mine from India was there's a doctor that swears you can cure yourself through millet, but there's little millet is the one that I use. And there's a shop, the Indian grocery store by me, and I buy it there. But there's little millet. There's like 12 different kinds. I sent a recipe I sent the doctor's information to Richard once about it. But yeah, you might even try another kind of millet.
Send that to me again. I remember us talking about this before, but send me that information again.
I'll look for it and send it. Okay.
Yeah, okay, because typically when you go into a grocery store, you're lucky if you could just find millet flour or the millet in the grain, just one type, much less more than one. Yeah, thank you.
I'm lucky enough to live in an international area where we've got all kinds of grocery stores from all over the world. I also bought some puffed basmati rice, and I'm wondering if I can make my own rice cakes.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know. I'll get back with you. I know there might be a warning on that because it is white, but I'll get back with you on it and whether it works or not. It was cheap enough to buy.
Great.
So I will experiment.
Look forward to hearing back. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, who's next, Chris?
Oh, well, I'm pretty good, but I have like nano worms. I found they look like little threads of different colors, but they're so small you can only see them with a magnifying glass, about 30 times magnification. And I found out they will come out of your skin if you put a thick oil or Aquaphor or Vaseline on your skin overnight. Then you can rub your skin, and they kind of all get together, and you can feel tiny little particles, and they feel sometimes like glass. They feel like fiberglass under your skin, and if I don't get them out, they form squamous cell carcinomas, and sometimes they get so painful I have to have them cut out. But if I can get them out before they do that, I'm just trying to find out if you know anything about that, or.
Well, how are you doing? How are you doing with the diet?
Well, I'm not doing that diet. I have a very kind of strict diet. My diet is mostly I don't eat any oils. I don't eat any sugar. I don't eat anything that's genetically modified. I only eat organic, and I grow most of my own food.
So why aren't you?
I had to do that.
Why aren't you on my diet?
What?
Everything you say is complementary to my diet, so why aren't you on it?
It won't work without
Because
Richard's
your
diet.
diet is wheat and grains and your diet is stuff I don't eat. I don't eat grains. I don't eat meat.
But there are plenty of vegetarians on this diet. I mean, you tweak the diet to make it work.
You don't have to eat. You don't have to eat because it's on the diet. Doesn't mean you have to eat it. All right, because it's hamburger's on the diet, but you don't have to eat it. You don't have to touch it with a 10-foot pole. You know, how about fish? Do you eat fish? What is your protein source?
Mostly yogurt and kefir, and then I have fish maybe once a week.
All right. Well, number one, have you sent in the questionnaire? Have you completed it and sent it in?
No. Where would I get that? Did you send me one?
Yeah, you can email me and request a questionnaire, and I'll be glad to send it back to you with the questionnaire attached and in the body of the email, so you can fill it out. But this is how it goes down. If you are only dealing with Morgellons, probiotics are okay. But 90% of the people who are dealing with Morgellons also are dealing with Columbella, springtails. And for them, probiotics will only feed them and make them stronger and keep you from getting your life back. So we focus on prebiotics. Leeks, onions, cocoa, they are garlic, they are some of the prebiotics. There are others, I don't remember them offhand, but there are updates that are produced with the whole list of prebiotics. So when you get to stage 2, now the other thing is stage 1 is not forever. Stage 1, if you're really good with it and really stick to it, you can get to stage 2 in about 10 days where you can start adding probiotics. All right? But in the beginning, particularly, and if you send in your questionnaire, I can pretty well tell you whether you might be dealing with Columbella. In fact, we did this last week. Do you have any, do you ever feel like there's anything around your ankles or lower legs that itch and bite, but you can't see them? Have you ever had an infestation of fleas where they jump up on your ankles, but you can see them? They're little black dots. But this feels very much like fleas, but you can't see them. They're invisible.
No, I don't have that.
Okay, do you have a crusty feeling around your eyelids or in your eye area? Do you have a crusty feeling? A crustiness?
No.
Okay, now do you have filaments and fibers that are growing from your skin?
No.
You don't have any filaments or fibers. Do you find a cotton-like or lint-like substance?
I have little tiny, they're too small to see, but I can feel them if they get into a tangle, and then I can look at them with a microscope, and then I can see them, and they look like little tiny threads or like miniature horsehair worms, but they're not worms. I don't think. I know that they are on the nest.
Okay, so you don't find a cotton-like or lint-like substance around, do you? With cotton-like or lint-like substance? Okay. Well, according to Dr. Saverly, if you don't have filaments, you don't have Morgellons. All right. And you don't have black specks. Do you find black specks or different colored specks? Okay, so it sounds like I'm not here to diagnose you. You can look this up, and I'm only here to tell you what you would find if you research this. So the indication for Morgellons is filaments and fibers. If you don't have evidence of filaments and fibers, that rules out Morgellons. Now, the indication for columbella is usually you feel biting and itchiness around your ankles, or there's a crusty feeling or crustiness around your eyelashes, and you don't have that. Do you have lesions on the back of your scalp, non-healing lesions that leave, like when they finally do heal, a gelatinous non-substance that you just can't get off of your scalp? Do you have anything like that on the upper shoulders or the back of your neck?
No, I don't have that.
Well, you have something, and I'm not sure what it is, but and I have no idea how to get it tested, and whether or not it would do any good to test it or not. But I would say start with a diet. You can do. Do you consume chicken, like chicken broth or anything like that?
I do eat eggs, but only occasionally, because I have chicken.
Well, okay,
So
eggs. You can do it now. Do you have itchy? Do you have itchy and bitey feelings on your? Do you have itchy skin? Anything itches, like it feels like it's itching from under your skin?
No. Every once in a while my head itches, but that's all.
You have biting feelings, biting sensations?
No.
Okay, well, you could try the diet because it works with parasites in general, and just do nothing but eggs, and instead of butter, use ghee for a couple of days and see if the symptoms subside. If the symptoms don't subside, then whatever you're dealing with doesn't have much to do with anything I'm familiar with. And you might try, if you think it's worms, you might go to shopformorgellons.com using the number 4 instead of FOR, and order the Fenben, the fenbenzidol.
Yes, I do have some fenbendazole, and I was thinking about taking it today. I actually got like 100 grams of it from Lithuania, and I've taken most of it. I have maybe a quarter of it left, not even a quarter of it left.
Well, they recommend
taking it because
they recommend 222. They recommend 222 milligrams 3 times a week, and then you take a break for 4 days, and then you do 3 more, and you do that for over a month. It could be up to 6 months that you do that. What?
I was taking 144 a day until I took all that, and I did have a mass die-off of other kind of worms that were in my skin, and they were real worms, and they had eggs, and they had all kinds of stuff, and they did come out, and they're gone now, thank God. But and I think that the Fenben did help with that, and I was just going to look up today how much they actually give dogs to cure cancer and stuff, and I think that the dose is really, really high. It was. I think for our weight, it would probably be super high. Instead of just a tiny little bit every day, I was thinking about taking a lot. Finding out the equivalent of what they give dogs. They have acute cancer.
I would suggest going to that site. Write this down: shop, S-H-O-P, the number 4, Morgellons.com. They have a list of the different medications and the dosages and the reasons why. I also send out an update about once a month with all those recommendations as well. So I don't know what you do with the emails you get from me, but everybody should put them into a separate folder.
Well, what I did was I went to Shop for Morgellons, and I got the Nufeneron, the Nitipyram,
right,
the boron, and I already had this big bottle of fenbendazole, so I didn't need to get that. But I did get all those, and I am taking. I started retaking the lufenuron because I took that for like 96 days, and it really helped. And I thought I was all cured, but now I still have this one thing, that these tiny microworms. And so I found a parasitologist or online, and he's a doctor, that he's retired, but I'm gonna ask him if he can help me identify these, because I can't seem to find them online. I see other people have them. I see pictures that other people are posting, and it's exactly what I have, but I don't know what it is, and no one's actually identified it. And in Wuhan, China, a 28-year-old lady, was the first lady to actually get infected with horsehair threadworms, or they're horsehair worms they're called, but they look exactly like it, but these are miniature. These are so tiny, you can't see them with the naked eye.
Yeah, if lufenuron worked for you before and you only did it for 96 days, I would suggest you maybe revisit that. You may not have to do much more than that. Okay. So thank you.
I take that again. I ordered some more from her, and I'm taking it again. So thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
That really helped.
Okay, so that's probably your answer. I mean, I've had numerous people write me and told me that lufenuron cured them. It doesn't cure you, and you may need it again. So, okay, thank you. Who's next, Chris?
I guess I'm going to start with the question I have about the organisms in my face, and I do have the crusty eyelid thing still going on, but I've started doing some of, I'm going to start doing what Lillian talked about with the white, and I've ordered that, and I'm cleaning a lot of it out with the Nature's Gift, and it's starting to resolve, but as I'm rubbing and massaging, I kind of have these really hard white things coming out. I don't know if this could be also, the springtails and the fibers, or if this is biofilm, because I'm not sure I understand what biofilm is. Is it more of a liquid substance in your body?
Well, biofilm is usually described as a goo. It can come from your skin, it comes from lesions, and it could be different colors: black goo, white goo. So it's described as a goo. Now, internally, the biofilm is also something that the Lyme spirochetes use to protect themselves, and they build a biofilm around them to protect them from the antibiotics. So. And this is
liquid substance also. It's not kind of hard or gritty.
Well, you can't really see it. If you could see a spirochete, I mean, we're talking microscopic. The kinase enzymes are advertised to reduce or eliminate biofilm, and I believe you are on those, right?
Yes, I am taking those.
Okay, and I can't tell you how many a day you should take. You'd have to be the judge of that.
Yeah, experimenting. But I do the sickness tea. But I've been to the nurse practitioner, and I did the test for the Lyme, and there's the one to do, and they tested me for like rheumatoid arthritis, the autoimmune disease, and they're trying to tell me that that's negative. They suggested an allergist. Is that even worth my time?
Probably not, because the bottom line is boosting glutathione is one of the most important things any human being could ever do in their entire lives if they want to stay young and fit. And we just don't get enough glutathione. So I would focus on the max 1. If you're taking 2 a day and you would like additional improvement, go to 3, 4, 5, or 6 a day for short term until you get to where you want to be, and then come back off. You can't get enough glutathione.
Going up to the 3 a day. So the stiffness in my joints, is this a Lyme? I've read
I can't really say. All I know is that by generally boosting glutathione, things like that kind of go away in time.
Okay. Well, I'll just keep at it. And I know I need the boron. I ordered more of that. I think it helped. And then as far as the Nuvon strips in the car, I don't know if Robin, have you used those in the car and in your garage?
They're not very effective in a car. Nuvon strips work best in an airtight environment. Pretty hard to make a car airtight.
Yeah, well, Lila said that you'd want to put them in there for a couple of weeks or more, probably.
Right,
so,
but you want to use the car, and you would want to have all the windows shut.
You have to dedicate your car to Nuvon strips for that period of time and not use it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That probably. And then when I first started out, I had this cedar oil spray, and I sprayed it all around the garage. I may get more of that. I noticed in your store you were sold out. And now I'm doing the ammonia.
Yeah, it was great.
I think I'm going to continue to do that. I thought about putting the Nuvon strips at the end of the garage, but is there like a danger of breathing that in if you're going out there and cleaning? Kind of. I had the same thing where I shoved everything in the garage.
Garage is a big empty space, and it's usually not airtight. I mean, Nuvon strips work great, like in a Ziploc vinyl mattress cover. Zippered vinyl cover where you put it in the bottom. They work great in very small closets. They work great in Ziploc heavy plastic bags for clothes or shoes.
What about plastic tubs that you have the lid? No,
I'm sorry, what?
Plastic tubs, where you lock the lid on top.
Totes, yeah.
Yeah, that's not really airtight though. You need like 3 to 4 mil plastic, the thickness of that, and then it needs to be airtight.
Okay.
So if you're going to put it in a plastic bin, you could put it in. I have used like shoe bins that are plastic, and I put my shoes. I clean them with ammonia. I put menthol crystals inside a Ziploc freezer bag with the shoes, and then I put them inside, and I use Nuvon strips, and then I put them inside the plastic container.
Okay. Well, my glasses and my cell phone in the little zip bag with the menthol crystals overnight every night. Is that a long period of time to kill things off? I have to wear my glasses every day, use my phone every day.
Right, I wouldn't. The thing is that menthol crystals release poison fumes, and if you're putting something on your face that's been soaked in menthol crystals, that's not the best idea. They have, these little things that you can buy with UV light that sterilizes things. I put my glasses, when I wear glasses, in there, and I put like my watches in there when I wear a watch.
Okay, so I might be getting my eyes exposed to something every day, and that's not so great if I'm doing that.
Exactly.
What about just using the Clean 'em Up Zyme spray on your glasses?
Sure, that's always good.
Every day. Is that sufficient?
You can use that multiple times a day.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'll switch over to that. I was just, I don't want to reinfect my face, my hair. And then as far as the spelt flour, I haven't tried that. I tried millet, and I thought I had a reaction.
I had a reaction to millet flour. I don't have a reaction to spelt flour, but and rice flour I had a terrible reaction to because it has more sugar in it. It's more refined, even brown rice flour.
It was brown rice flour.
Yeah, I found spelt flour was the best.
And then nutmeg and thyme, those stage 1 compatible? Nutmeg and thyme?
Yes. Rosemary, no.
Okay, I can probably never add rosemary back in. It was one of my favorites, but
Well, I don't know. You could try it on stage 2, but definitely not in stage 1.
Okay, so if I'm still feeling the wiggles on my face and maybe some stinging on my scalp, stick with stage 1 until that's completely gone and cleared out. That's my goal.
Good goal.
About, pardon?
That's a good goal.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, and thank you for your support. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Who's next, Chris?
I haven't heard you say this, but I know it from being gluten-free. When you start making dishes and you're substituting flour for the regular flour in your dish, you need to get it right. You have to weigh the new flour and then weigh your old flour, and it's not like by the cup, it's by weight. So if the recipe calls for 1 cup of flour, you weigh 1 cup of your old flour, and then take whatever new flour you're using and weigh that to get it to the same weight.
That's an excellent point. I never thought of that. That's an excellent point. That's why my cakes don't always turn out.
You could look it up on Google also and just say, if I'm substituting spelt flour for plain wheat flour, is it equal?
Right. Okay. So you have another one there, Mary?
Yes, I do. This one's from Nancy, and she writes, "What is the best machine to get rid of all insects in the home? I have a really serious breathing problem also. Thank you."
Well, that's an easy one. In my opinion, the best thing is to go to the electrostatic sprayer and use the enzymes. Is probably the best thing to do. There's nothing really to smell, and it's non-toxic and very effective. You have another one, Mary?
Yes. This one is from Jacob, and he says, "Hello, Mr. Coons. I just wanted to offer you my sincere appreciation and gratitude. You have saved my life, and I hope that your products are available for years to come. For the sake of my health, my family's health, and the health of my future humans on planet Earth, you deserve more recognition than you're getting. You're a champion and a hero. I hope you have a good weekend." And I know that wasn't a question, but I believe everything he said.
Yeah, I appreciate. It's what keeps me going, and to have people like Lila a couple of weeks ago share, and today a lady shared how she's improving. I'm sorry I forgot her name. I invited Jacob to be a guest on the program because, success breeds success. It's as simple as that. And if success inspires, because Robin, Mary, and Chris doesn't know it because he has not ever been infected by these organisms, but those of us who have been infected with the organisms truly appreciate the hell that we live in. You wouldn't want to wish it on your worst enemy. And to be able to get your life back is amazing. And I'm so appreciative of emails that it's the reason, if this program didn't work, I'm not the kind of guy that could be here and answer questions and lie to people. I'm just not that kind of guy. I'd run off on doing something else and have died from the organisms by now. It's as simple as that. Okay.
She says, "Richard, can I have rice flour as opposed to rice bran flour? I bought Bob's Red Mill white rice flour and wondered if that would be okay to eat."
Is there a difference between white rice flour and white rice bran flour?
Yeah.
One's made with the bran and the other's just made with the kernel?
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know whether you could eat both or not. I don't know. I never made a distinction as to whether or not the rice flour I was eating was regular white rice flour or bran flour. I don't know.
I'm sure
So,
it's just regular.
whenever you are in question, read Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is your lifeline. When you know Chapter 4 as well as I know, having written it, and you could write it yourself, if you did the same thing I did, then you'll have all the answers. So the idea is always make the diet work with what you can have to make the diet work. And then if you have a question about white rice flour, before you totally get your life back, have the white rice flour and see if you react. I mean, coffee's on the diet, but some people can't have coffee. Eggs are on the diet. Some people can't have eggs. Spelt flour. Some people can't have spelt flour. Butter, oils, animal fat. Some people can't have any fat. So the idea is make the diet work. I think she has a second part to that question.
Yes, there is. And she says she's also wondering if you could tell her a spaghetti sauce or tomato paste that has no sugar in it. Every label I looked at in the grocery store has at least 2 grams of sugar. I can't find any without some sugar in it. Thank you.
Okay, there are two parts to a label. Number one is the nutritional facts, and they'll tell you the grams of sugar. That doesn't mean sucrose, doesn't mean dextrose. It doesn't mean that sugar was added, all right? It just means that the natural food itself has that much sugar in it. So tomatoes have a certain amount of sugar in them. What you want to look at is the ingredients. That's another part of the label. The ingredients tell you tomato, and then it'll tell you citric acid perhaps, and you want to stay away from it. It's rare that you get, I mean, I think maybe some brands of tomato do add real sugar to it, so you definitely don't want to take or have anything that has sugar on the ingredients or any sugar substitutes except for real organic stevia. So you need to be familiar with the two parts of the label. The nutritional facts are one thing, and the ingredients are another. And it's the ingredients that are the one you want to look at. Yes, Robin.
So Hunt's makes tomato sauce, chopped tomatoes, and tomato paste with no sugar, but they also make it with sugars. So you have to read the labels, and the one with no sugar does have citric acid, but it just has tomatoes, a couple of spices, salt, and citric acid. I think citric acid is the last ingredient, and I haven't had any trouble with the Hunt's no sugar ones. I mean, they don't say no sugar. You have to read the labels, but sometimes citric acid can be bad, and I haven't found that in these particular tomato sauces. So
yeah, and the reason citric acid can be a problem apparently is not because it's the source of the citric acid. So citric acid can be made from soy, and if the citric acid is made from soy, it would most likely be a problem. If it's made from something else, probably not a problem. So, and unfortunately, by reading the label, you cannot tell the source of how the citric acid was produced. So,
right.
Okay, that wraps up this segment.